What's going on, everyone? You're never kicking it with RJ. I want you guys to kick up those feet, kick off some shoes, get something to eat, get something to drink. Today, I'm going to be doing an official review of MindsEye. This is something I want to do whenever I finish a game or newly released game. Just something, that kind of takes me back a little bit, has me explain what my thoughts on it were, what my rating of it is, and just kind of what the game is all around. I'm not going to do like a play-by-play of the story, just kind of give my overall thoughts of the game itself. And before we really get into it, I want you guys to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, helps the algorithm. And anyways, let's get right into it. Alright, MindsEye. It's an action-adventure shooter and supposed GTA killer or something. Now, the GTA killer concept was created solely by the consumers or the fan base or the audience, just because the main person who made this game was Leslie Benzies. If you don't know who Leslie Benzies is, he was the lead director, I think, of the GTA games, or in the Rockstar games. He created masterpieces such as like GTA San Andreas, GTA 4, GTA 5, I believe Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm not 100% on that, Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire, Bully, and many more. He is, when it comes to those games, now obviously this isn't just him, it just isn't one person, it's him and a whole team, but he led a lot of it, and he did a very, very good job over the years. Now, he's obviously receiving backlash for MindsEye. I think I'll discuss it more in a video. I think there's more to the story than just, the developers suck, you know what I mean? I think there's more to this, like executive-wise. But I'll talk about that later. But anyways, yeah, so let's dive into it. So the gameplay. Now, the mechanics, the game has decent controls. It's pretty similar to GTA, but I will say that cars handle like shit. You crash once or hit something, and your car is flipping and you lose control. The shooting is okay for some weapons, like the shotgun feels pretty good, but it feels off. It doesn't really feel like you're shooting a gun. It just feels like you're shooting like a BB or an airsoft gun. I know it's a video game, whatever. But like when you play like GTA, Red Dead Redemption, or let's give like a non-GTA, or Call of Duty, or Far Cry, the weapons feel like you're shooting the weapons. This game, it just feels like they're rubber guns. Like they kill, but I mean, I don't know, it's just goofy in my opinion. And then like when you get a headshot, they like drop instantly. It's not like, I'm going back to it, like Far Cry, Call of Duty, GTA, Red Dead, where you shoot the enemy and they kind of have like a decent like AI drop. They just drop instantly, like boom, they're done. It's goofy. And then the enemy NPC, when like you're doing a hard mission, like you guys saw me fail a few times. It wasn't that easy, but like you run into like a section, the mini map or the HUD, whatever, wouldn't show you anything. So you run into pretty much blind fire and you're done. And the checkpoints, don't even get me started. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Anyways, so I'd say like my enjoyment of it as like a standstill right now, I think the story is intriguing. I'll talk about that in a little bit. When it's intriguing, I do enjoy it. When I'm driving for 5 minutes to shoot a bunch of enemies, then drive back while listening to whoever talk about who knows what, that's the part I didn't really like. I felt like the map was way too big for its own good. Like a map can be big, but don't make it so big where you're driving 5 minutes for nothing. You know what I mean? Like contain it. I mean, why did games such as like, what was a good example? So let's go old games. Mafia, Vice City. Old games that don't really have a huge map, but just enough to make the game feel big, but it's not big, if you know what I mean. Anyways, and the difficulty of the game itself, some missions, like I said, are just a pain. I mean, the enemies are everywhere, the checkpoints are awful. Now, some are decent and fun, but then there's some missions where, like the just watch or escort missions, like the rocket escort mission, don't even get me started, where you just watch a rocket, somewhat protect it. This is easily like the most boring mission in the game. I shit you not, I was falling asleep playing this mission. I did not like that mission whatsoever. I even told you guys, that was the most boring mission I've ever played, ever. It was boring. I did not like that mission at all. Alright, so let's dive into the story. Now, I'm not going to do a play-by-play of like everything that happened in the story. Just kind of give you guys like what like events happen in the story. I guess I'm going to put a spoiler tag right here. Spoilers, guys. If you want to skip ahead, I'll leave a mark in the video. Just skip ahead. If you don't care, just keep on watching. So, anyways, like I said, the story is pretty good when it gets deep, but I feel like it's too short and it's all over the place. So, like, give like an act by act type thing. You first start, Jacob joins the Silva Corporation under Supervisor Carrie Rigby to investigate rogue robots plaguing Red Rock. Now, you kind of start off as, what's it called? Like, just a random person. The next thing you know, people start noticing your MindsEye. You're like, holy shit. Next thing you know, you get the CEO coming to your door. It's like, wait. How the hell did I get the attention of the CEO? Like, that quick. You know what I mean? After you got recommended by your friend who doesn't really work high up in the business or the corporation. Didn't really make much sense to me. Then you find out who the Red Sands are, and then after a little bit, you rescue the hacker Charlie. And it's just, I don't know, it just feels empty. No, I feel like I'm shitting on the game. I'm not. I kind of am. I'm not. I think the story is intriguing when it wants to be, but I think it's too short for its own good. And like I said, you guys will see it later. It just jumps around way too much. And then you meet the CEO, Marco Silva. He makes Jacob his bodyguard, and you go to the mayor. And the mayor's campaigning, and she's an asshole. I mean, she is not giving you anything. She's an idiot. And then there's a kidnapping attempt. They drug Marco Silva. You take him back. It's a mess. And then after a little bit, Colonel Lamry, he comes out of nowhere. And he's like the big bad guy. And then flashbacks reveal that Jacob lost control of his drone. If you saw in the beginning, and Laramie, I keep on thinking of the Laramie gang from Red Dead Redemption. Then Laramie extracted those memories, triggering Jacob's amnesia. Now I sound like I'm going all over the place, because that's how the story is. And then Jacob finds Hunter Morrison, who was supposedly dead. You find him in some bunker, and then he guides Jacob to set up devices to contact the Kin, an alien race tied to the ancient ruins Jacob explored. Now, honestly, I thought this was going to be like a conspiracy. Something within Silva was like, not something wasn't right, and they were using that tomb, whatever, to create something. I don't know. I thought it was goofy. But anyways, we got aliens now. And then the viral signal wakens rogue robots citywide. Lamry seizes control, somehow activates martial law, and then captures Morrison and grabs a Silva, and then takes a Silva factory. Out of nowhere, it just happens. Anyways, and then Jacob recovers a shutdown transponder. Charlie then sacrifices herself. Then Jacob helps launch a rocket. Why did I say robot? And then traces Lamry to the Kin archaeological site. Yeah, I know, kind of a lot to unpack there in those like 5 sentences. It like I said, it jumps around terribly. And then he wants to open the Kin orb. He deploys it, and then Jacob, to stop the portal from getting into Earth or something, he jumps in it, sacrificing himself. And then the epilogue, Rigby is searching through Jacob's remains, and one robot reactivates when she says Jacob's name, hinting the war isn't over. And that's it. That's the story. What the hell? I mean, I don't. It's, for one, way too short. Way too short. And the narratives everywhere. I'll talk about that in a bit. So the characters are actually pretty decent. Seb and Jacob's chemistry was really good, but it was heavily underused. He had maybe 15 minutes of screen time in a 7-hour game. I mean, like, I was like playing through the game and I was thinking, like, wait, where the hell is Seb? For such an integral or whatever character in Jacob's life, he is barely in the game. And then there's Rigby. I wasn't really a huge fan of her because I thought she was going to be like the big bad. She was giving me those vibes, and that never happened. She was cool, but it wasn't really much to her. And Charlie was cool, but like I said, even though we heard her voice quite a bit, we never really saw her. She felt heavily underused, and her sacrifice. I mean, yeah, it was sad, but that's really it. I mean, we didn't really feel a bond with her. You know what I mean? And kind of a side note, why games like Mafia or the early Call of Duties are so beloved is because these games aren't long, but it doesn't take long for you to really grasp the characters. I mean, by the end of Mafia, you love Ollie. You will love Sam, kind of. You love Tommy. You know, you want these characters to live happily ever after. By the end of Call of Duty Black Ops, you love Woods. You love Mason. You know, you love Price. You love all these characters in such a short game. You grow to love these characters. But what this game didn't do is that it didn't give these characters time to shine. They acted campy. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then there's Hunter Morrison and Marco Silva. I thought those two were really cool. I thought they had a pretty cool dynamic, but it wasn't really explored. Like they were like somehow big enemies. Like why would Hunter Morrison hide out for how long? What's the reason behind that? We never really got one. And then Laramie comes out of like nowhere. Like, hey, I'm the big bad now. It's like, wait, where'd you come from? You know, where did you come from? It didn't really make much sense to me. I thought, like I said, it sounds like I'm shitting on the characters. I'm not. I thought the characters were cool, but they were cool and campy, but that's all they really were. Nothing more, and it just felt super underwhelming. And then the narrative just seems to be all over the place. Now, I know the beginning, there was the incident with Jacob's MindsEye, the ancient tomb, or whatever it was that triggered it. And like I said, there was some seemingly big conspiracy with Silva that didn't really seem to go anywhere. And then, like I said, the true villain, Laramie, popped out of seemingly nowhere as the big bad. I wish it was kind of like how the show Daredevil did with Ray Schnoover, where he was in the show, but like he kind of played like the good guy in the beginning. I wish Laramie was there at the beginning. He was like your mentor, something like that. And then over time, you can kind of see the cracks in the system, and then it goes out in the end. Now, I know that's super cliche, and it is what it is. But like they did the usual. The general was nuts in the beginning. He got even more nuts. It was super underwhelming. So yeah, that's the story, characters, narrative. Yeah, yeah. Now the graphics, the cutscenes, I will say they looked super great. I think that what's his name, Alex Hernandez. I think he acted his ass off for this game. I think he was very good in this game. I'm not shitting on the acting. I'm shitting on the story that they were given. Anyways, enough about the story. Once the gameplay set in, it looked bad. It looked horrible. It just looked washed. You know what I mean? Like the cutscenes looked amazing, and then you get to the gameplay. It's like, wow, this looks like shit. It kind of reminds me of Mafia 3. You know, like the cutscenes looked amazing. Everything looked nice and shiny. The characters look beautiful. Then you get into like the gameplay. It's like, whoa, that kind of looks bad. You know what I mean? Ain't that coincidence? Same actor. Anyways, so I'd say like the sound and the music and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool. The music was okay. I did see that I got copyrighted quite a bit. Now it wasn't like copyright strikes or anything like that. Nothing major. But like where I couldn't. I'm a small channel, so I can't make money off it anyways. But if I were to make money on YouTube, I couldn't because of those sounds for some specific reason. I don't understand why. Now, maybe there's a streamer mode I didn't see in the game. I didn't really look for it, but who knows? The voice acting was decent until they get into a car, and then for some reason it sounded like they edited it last second. It was super goofy, and the game ran okay on my PS5, even though it did crash once. So, anyways, my overall experience, I'd say the strengths are in its story. Now, if they had more time to kind of cook with the game and just develop it for another year and not worry about GTA 6 in the horizon or anything like that. If they just if because I know a lot of it, the stockholders they rush things. I'm not trying to excuse a bad game, but that's the thing, when the executives get involved with a video game or a TV show and they rush it, They don't let the people who are making the game or the show or whatever, they don't let them perfect it. They want it out there now. And they shoot themselves in the foot every time. I've seen this time and time and time and time again, where a game has potential to be something really good. And for whatever reason, maybe it's the developers thinking they're done, maybe it's the executives wanting the game out now. I don't know. But this seems to happen again and again and again. Look at Cyberpunk, look at Mafia 3, look at No Man's Sky. Those are 3 games that released horribly and somewhat recouped their reputation. Now, what I talked about earlier is exactly like this. Developers get a lot of shit for releasing a game. I don't know. Okay, I'm a YouTuber. I don't really know exactly the ins and outs of video game industry, so if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. Tell me down below. But I think the biggest problem with the gaming industry nowadays is stockholders want so much money so fast. You know, no, I'm not talking about all stockholders. I'm not talking about all executives. No, not all of them are like that. I mean, look at Rockstar Games. Don't look at the definitive edition. That's one thing they screwed up on. But I mean, look at every game. Those games take years and years and years. You don't rush games. If you rush a game, it releases horribly and people remember that forever. But if you delay a game, yeah, you get pissed now. But when the game comes out and it's fresh and new and it's worth the money you paid for it, hell yeah. That's a game I paid for. But yeah, so I think that definitely stockholders or executives or something got involved. Maybe the developers thought they were done. I don't know. But with the 3 patches I've seen on this game in the month it's been out, I don't think that was the case. I don't think personally. Now anyways, the moment you've all been waiting for, what do I rate this game? Honestly, I rate this game a solid 4 out of 10. Why not 5? Why not 6? Why not 3? Why not 2? I think this game is a solid 4 because of its potential. I think this game has a lot of potential to be something good. I think it does. I think it needs a lot more work. I like it for what it is, but it needs a lot more work and maybe a DLC in the future. I give it a year to hopefully try to make it right. Or maybe like a Cyberpunk situation, but like with the layoffs within the developers, that's unlikely. I'm hoping the studio can make it right with their next game. I hear it's like going to be off a TV show that everybody knows. Fingers crossed it's Breaking Bad. I would freaking love a Breaking Bad game. Made right, of course. But anyways, I hope that they can somehow restore their reputation like Hangar 13 did with Mafia Definitive Edition. I mean, look at where they are now. They have a new Mafia game on the horizon, and people are loving the look of it. Yes, it will take work, but with the right minds and the right marketing and the right vision, I think they can do it. Now, I'm not saying that having Leslie Benzies there is going to automatically give them a head start. No. Just because one smart person is there doesn't mean that everyone else is smart. You know what I mean? Leslie Benzies is a great director. You're probably thinking, well, no, he's not. He made this game. I think, like I said, give him the right game, give him the right story, give him the right time. I think they can make it better. I think that their next game, where they build a Rocket Boy, I think they can make a good game. I really do. And that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making this video. I hope you guys took some of my words into account. I think that we should stop shitting on developers for a bad game. We should start shitting on executives that push these games out. Now, if the developers wanted to push a game out that's unfinished, go at it. It's on them. But don't always blame the developers, because sometimes they did what they could in the little time they had. So yeah. Anyway, guys, before I leave, I want you guys to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Another lore video coming out next week. I'm super excited about that. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is because I'm still planning it. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care now.